The weather's been kind of rough the past couple nights. Had some clear skies last night once the clouds blew away. So hopefully this weekend we can have some good weather again. If we look to the west, we can see 2 out of the 3 planets. Mercury is going to be lost in the glare of the sun and the humidity, but Jupiter and Venus are going to be easy to spot. And then this weekend we'll be able to see the moon in the first quarter. Now you can check out a telescope from the library. I've done that a couple times. And when you look through the eyepiece at Venus, you can see that Venus goes through phases just like the moon. And so this weekend it looks like the moon's going to be about first quarter. And if you have a telescope or a pair of binoculars, look right along this dividing line called the terminator. That's where shadows are very long and you can see how rugged the terrain is. Now high overhead in this part of the sky is where all the action is. The sun, the moon, the planets all travel that part of the sky, and that's where our zodiac constellations are. And we're saying goodbye to our spring constellations like Leo the Lion, and we're getting well into summer, and my favorite summer constellation is Scorpius the Scorpion. Now if you're lucky enough to get to a dark sky location, you might be able to see the Milky Way. One thing that you don't need a dark sky location is to look at the International Space Station. People have been living in space for 25 years, and I used the Apple station. And the last crew to go up to the station was Crew 12. They got a ride on a SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket, and they were inside of a Dragon 2 capsule named Freedom. There's launches every day now, and some days there are 2 launches. Most of them are still from Cape Canaveral, Florida, or Vandenberg in California, West Texas, New Mexico, but the big excitement is down here in South Texas, in Boca Chica, where SpaceX is building the world's largest rocket, and they've even made it bigger. Version 3 of the rocket.
West 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, ignition.
Fix it downrange.
Huge rocket. Another company with a big rocket is Blue Origin, and they have their new Mark rocket. They've launched it 3 times now.
Provide acoustic suppression to protect the vehicle from shock waves, and also to cool the launch pad. There we go.
2.
Big water. We're at T-minus 20 seconds. There, as well as our time.
So NASA and its partners, Blue Origin and SpaceX, are going to go back to the moon, and the mission is called Artemis. Artemis 1 was an uncrewed mission a couple Thanksgivings ago. Artemis 2 was just this past April with a crew of 3 Americans, 1 Canadian, doing a 9.5-day trip around the moon. So outbound looking back at Earth, and this is that Terminator I told you about, the craters. Now after Artemis 2, the new updated schedule is all 3 rockets launch at the same time and meet up in low Earth orbit. Last week NASA announced who the Artemis 3 crew is going to be. And it's going to be 3 NASA astronauts and an astronaut from European Space Agency. just like Apollo 9 back in 1968, where they did a low Earth orbital docking. Next is Artemis 4, 5, and 6, where they'll land on the moon, and the lunar vehicles from SpaceX and Blue Origin. The lunar starship, it has a door that's 14 stories up in the air, so it needs a big elevator just to get back down to the ground. Blue Origin is a little bit low profile, has a ladder on the outside, and the crew quarters are down here, and the fuel tanks are up here. Just a sense of scale, the Apollo lunar module from 1969. With that, in the show that we're about to see, the schedule has changed. Artemis 3 in the show talks about landing on the moon, and that's been updated to Artemis 4. With that out of the way, enjoy our future presentation.
I'm coming up. Dad. No.
Welcome to the Moon Museum, a digital archive of past Apollo missions and future Artemis missions in the planning. We will visit the Moon Museum again and get updates with the Artemis program.
That's a ring.
High overhead, we can see Mars, mankind's next challenge to have a Martian colony. We can't see all the stars because of the city lights. Let's head out far away from the city lights. We can see the moon and Mars lingering high overhead. The constellation Orion. Ursa Major. And Leo the Lion. And up there, look, just passing by, the International Space Station is flying over Arkansas, humanity's enduring outpost in space, a marvel of international cooperation and engineering.
Like an airplane.
Huh?
You see, you're not on stage with them.
Mom, I want to get out.
Looking down, we can see the full Earth. This is where weather and GPS satellites are in their orbit. Let's go to low Earth orbit and chase after the International Space Station. Look down below. We can see the cities of Western
What's
Europe.
this thing?
The space station orbits
The
the
space
Earth
station.
every hour and a half, which gives the astronauts a sunset and a sunrise every 45 minutes.
I'm gonna go.
The ISS was built over decades as a modular station assembled in orbit. It began with the launch of the Russian Zarya,
I would just
then NASA's Unity module.